Hello, I'm Zach, and welcome to WorleyTutorials.com. This is the very first video of Photoshop Basics. The first thing I wanted to talk about is the difference between design with Photoshop and photo editing with Photoshop. Those are basically the two main features of Photoshop. Those are the two main reasons why people use Photoshop. So design is primarily, you can actually make the entire document, the entire image in Photoshop using different shapes, using text, making textures. You can essentially make the entire thing yourself. And that's also why a lot of times people will design websites entirely in Photoshop, because in order to make a button, I mean, all you really have to do is come over here in your tools, and I'll explain all this here in a second, but I just, for illustration's sake, you can come over here and grab like a rectangle, make a rectangle, and apply any effects that you want to that layer, and you have yourself a button that has shades and it looks all 3D. It looks really nice. So that is the design side of things, and we're going to try to kind of intertwine both of those, the design as well as the photo side, which as you can see here, that's kind of what I did. This is my wife, and I created the heart in actually Illustrator, then I dragged it over, did a paintbrush for the moon, and did different types of textures in the background. So this is kind of a hybrid between photo and design. Now, photo is a totally separate thing, and the style of editing changes. You can add these different adjustment layers to, tweak it and make it the way you want. And I'll talk about all of this stuff in these next few tutorials. You can also add effects to these layers, and effects are different than adjustment layers in that it's kind of like drop shadow versus changing the hue and saturation, or making it black and white or with color. So that's kind of the difference between an adjustment layer makes it black and white or a lot of color, and an effect gives you more like a drop shadow. So that is, and there's also filters, but that's the difference between the mindset of photo editing and designing. So, and of course, it's a perfect tool for both of those things. And in the next video, we're going to be talking about the actual interface of Photoshop CS6.